Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. Today I wanted to talk about a topic that's going around YouTube right now. It was talked about on TV by, I think the, The Jump or whatever. They talked about this about 7 months ago. And the topic was, is Luka Doncic the future face of the NBA? And I don't think this is really true at all, and I'll explain why, for a variation of different reasons, but everyone's going around talking about this right now. Some people are actually making cases for it, which is fucking weird, because personally, I think it's way too early to fucking tell, but it's a thing. Okay, and I just want to give my personal opinion on this because I kind of think the take right now is kind of out of left field. You know, we could come back to this in 6 or 7 years and I could be completely wrong, but right now I think we could all agree that the face of the NBA is LeBron James at the current point in time, okay? Regardless of how shitty the Lakers are, everything LeBron James does is great. In fact, everything LeBron James does is so great that, like, SportsCenter and Bleacher Report and all these other fucking, sport outlets and whatever, like, put out these arbitrary fucking stats for LeBron James anytime he accomplishes some minor feat. And what I mean by that is we usually see this shit sometime around the postseason and all this other stuff, so, LeBron James fanboys, have something else to suck on. But what I mean by this, and I'll give you a perfect example, okay? I like to call these reacher stats, even though they're very arbitrary, but I like to call them reacher stats. And what I mean by reacher stats is these are things that normal people really don't give a fuck about, but SportsCenter makes a big deal about it. Granted, like LeBron James fans might, but LeBron James is the only player I've ever seen this really done for. So, for example, about a month and a half ago, LeBron James had passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in total points scored if you include his playoff scoring, right? And of course, ESPN put out this arbitrary fucking, photo or whatever on Twitter saying that LeBron James has finally passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for scoring if you include his playoff totals, like his playoff points scored. And I think to myself, right, like as an NBA fan, it almost feels disingenuous because I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I'll give a fuck when he passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for scoring in the regular season, okay, when he actually passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But they do stuff like this all the time. And the question really is, who is the next player that SportsCenter is going to do shit like this for? And a couple guys that automatically come to mind before Luka Doncic is Stephen Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Kevin Durant. Those are the only three guys that I really put in there. Nikola Jokic maybe one day. But the reason I say this is simply because LeBron James is going to retire at some point, and someone else is going to carry the torch for the NBA. Personally, I think it's going to be Steph Curry, maybe Giannis, one of the two. But the thing is, if you're going to be the face of the NBA, they really want somebody who is, for the most part, pretty solid on both ends of the floor. And they usually want somebody who creates a shit ton of highlight plays. And LeBron James has done that throughout his career, okay? I mean, Jason Terry is still recovering from the back injury from that fucking slam in Boston where, on the fast break, LeBron, literally baptized him, okay? But it's just the idea, man. Like, there's not a lot of players in the NBA that have that type of impact. And there's only a handful that I can think of that will. And I'm not saying Luka Doncic can't ever get to that point. I personally think the reason you can't say Luka Doncic is going to be the future face of the NBA right now is because it's way too early to tell. Okay, it's way too fucking early to tell. Granted, what Luka Doncic has done in the past, I guess you could say since the All-Star break, since they traded Kristaps Porzingis, has been pretty impressive. But, oh, excuse me. But the thing is, there's a lot of other guys you could say this about that could potentially be the future face of the NBA. Ja Morant being one of them, okay? You have Ja Morant. Zion Williamson is still yet to be determined. He's very much an above-the-rim guy. So it's just like, I think to say that Luka Doncic is the future face of the NBA, or he could be, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, I'm not counting him out by any means, because he could, you know, he could go on a fucking tear and, you know, win league MVPs and win NBA championships and shit like that. But Luka Doncic just doesn't, his play style just doesn't strike me as like, you know, something that is going to be like box office. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by that is like Luka Doncic doesn't have much in his game that's super impressive outside of his step back threes and his 3-point shooting that he can shoot from pretty much anywhere on the fucking floor. He's not a crazy good defender. He's not much of a dunker. You know what I'm saying? He's not like LeBron by any means. Neither is Steph Curry. But like even when it comes to crossovers and stuff like that, like Luka Doncic is not on the level of a Kyrie Irving or a Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like when I think about the face of the NBA, I just think a guy who's not only like a walking highlight reel, but a guy who is got the accolades, a guy who is, you know, locked down on pretty much both ends of the floor, a guy who can do it all, you know, and that's why LeBron became the face of the NBA, is because he could literally fucking do it all in his prime. He could play defense, he could play offense, he could play make, he could rebound. Like, there wasn't much shit LeBron couldn't fucking do. And I think if you're gonna be the face of the NBA, or at least be in the conversation, you gotta have somewhat of a complete package. And I just feel like Luka Doncic is kind of lacking in some of those categories, you know, and it's no disrespect to Luka Doncic. The dude's a walking triple-double, but it's just the idea there's a certain stardom that comes with being the face of the NBA, and I just don't know if Luka Doncic is ever going to live up to that. You know, I hope I'm wrong. It would be pretty cool to see, you know, like Luka Doncic be the face of the NBA, but at the current point in time, I feel like Giannis and Steph Curry and even Kevin Durant are way closer to that than Luka Doncic is and will be for the next, probably 5-6 years. I mean, I honestly, what Luka Doncic would really have to do to be in the conversation for that is he would have to win a league MVP. I mean, that's a given at this point, right? And I feel like he would have to win a championship. Like, those are two things I feel like he would have to do to be in the conversation, is win a championship and win a league MVP. Because pretty much, I mean, you got Jordan, you got LeBron, Julius Irving, you know, you've got, who else? I think, like, Jerry West was literally the fucking logo, you know? So, it's just the idea, man. Like, there's certain criteria that I also think needs to be met if you're going to be the face of the league one day. And Luka Doncic is good, but I just don't know. You know, I feel like it's way too early to be even having this conversation, but it's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. I'm the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.